we're recording this, as was mentioned, so it is recording. So we'll do that, and then we can send this out to people who are on here or who are unable to make it. As Lori said, my name is Scott. I'm the Director of Implementation for It's Never Too Late, and I want to show you how to use our program from a marketing standpoint. So before we even jump into that, I want to make sure that there's a kind of a brief overview of what this program is, which gives you kind of a nice talking point about what the program can be. So what this is a adaptive technology used to help connect and engage residents. So the program is designed for seniors living in senior living, and our goal is to connect them to things that they're passionate about, connect them to family members, and connect them to the staff in the community. And then we also want to use or utilize this as a tool to actively engage the residents. So however you want to word that, our kind of message is that it is a tool or a program to engage and connect residents and things they're passionate about, to family members, and to help actively engage residents. And the way we do that is through our touch screen technology. Now you guys have two separate pieces of hardware that are available in your communities. One is what you see on our screen right here. This is what we call our Engage program. And so in your communities, your life enrichment team will be utilizing this predominantly for group activities. And you should see a large 60-inch touch screen in the community that has this layout on it. And you will see that life enrichment team utilize this for group activities. And so you want to create dynamic group activities with our program. The second piece of hardware that you're going to have is what we call our Focus tablets. Now our Focus tablets are going to be for that one-on-one individual engagement. So from a marketing standpoint, if I have a family member who is or a resident who's apprehensive about moving in, they don't like to do a lot of group things, they want to have some of their own independence still, the daughter, son, or loved one might say, they don't really like the big groups, you can always refer to the fact that you do have a tablet that can be brought into their room or they can utilize anywhere in the community that's going to connect them to things that they're passionate about, and then we'll set up individual profiles for those for them. So that's the one piece that I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of, is that you do have both of those pieces of technology. Now, just to give you an overview, and it'll be kind of a high-level overview of what this group engagement kind of incorporates into it. Let me show you some different things that your staff has been or will be trained on how to do. So you look here, we have these different categories, and these are just kind of group engagement or activities that they can do. So we can do a lot of things with music, and as you look at our music, TV, and film section, this is a great area for people to be able to see that you have a lot of things to do with music. And as you guys know, music's really powerful and works really well with our residents that are in our memory care communities. We can utilize things like sing-alongs that are going to help, and there's going to be classic songs that they're going to be familiar with, where your staff will be able to have them read the words, engage with musical instruments, dancing, whatever they need to do. Karaoke, the same idea, and same with the music with Mary Sue. We even have a program on here that I want to highlight really quickly called Therapy Music. And what's really neat about this program and how I would speak about this is that this is having a music therapist on in your community, basically. This program was developed by music therapists with the idea of creating supportive music to help with whatever kind of activity or mood our residents may be in. And so it does have these 5 categories that we can go through, and I'm not going to go through all of them. You don't need to know that from a marketing standpoint. But just to give you an idea, and this program is on those individual tablets, we do have music to help people wake up, relax, get energy, or help fall asleep. So if a family member has some apprehension, they might say, my loved one they have trouble at night trying to fall asleep, they like to get up. We say, you have a program, we'll bring it right to their room where they can actually turn on music that's helped relax and help them fall asleep. Those are the kind of things that you can offer in your community with the iN2L program. All of this music, the key part of this, excuse me, so if we went into the sleep music, you still get to pick the kind of music that they like. And so as many, many buildings are talking about this idea of this person-centered care, the big thing that I have learned in my time in this industry is it's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to show it. And so family members are really going to remember the things that they touched, they saw. That's why we want them to actively engage with this somewhere along the visit, somewhere along the time that they're there doing the tour. You do have the tablets that you could have in there with them and let them click on those and play and explore and say, love for you to look at this for a little bit and tell me a couple programs that you think your mom, your dad, your spouse might enjoy, and let them just touch that. And that's going to be something that they are going to remember. The same idea here, you pick some kind of music that they might like, maybe like the oldies from the 90s, or let's even go back. So let's say they really love country music, and we're going to go some classic country. Well, the purpose of this music is to slowly help somebody relax and fall asleep. And so you can see who's playing, you can be able to hear the music, and it has a 48-minute playlist. And as you go through this playlist, I'm skipping through till we get towards the end, they're all very calming and relaxing songs. And then when we get towards the very end, now we're going to get into more nature sounds and relaxing sounds. And so that created by music therapists is very intentional. So again, any obstacles or anything that family members may share with you that they're concerned about, our program can have a solution, and that's what we really want to be, is solution-based. So a lot of those types of programs, we also discussed in the trainings, or if they haven't had a training yet, we'll be discussing in the training how to make our system work outside of that kind of the normal engagement hours, that 9 to 5 kind of time frame. And so we really worked on, under our My Page feature, making it easy for care staff or any staff to do programming outside of that activities or that life enrichment window of time. So we explained to them about, and this is going to look a little bit different, but making a button right here called Evenings and put programming behind there that any staff in the community can actually utilize in the evening time. So you can see from this example, our life enrichment team is gone. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. People have finished up with dinner. What kind of engagement is going to happen? And in most buildings that I go into in a memory care, the TV might be on. It might be on something appropriate. It might be on something that's not really any residents are paying attention to. It's not great engagement. We might see more behaviors. Instead, you can come in here and maybe we can listen to an audiobook, and we could turn on a short story or a chapter book, and they can go through something like that with them. Or maybe we're going to do the Our Daily Bread devotional that evening, and we can actually come in here, and our evening staff is going to allow, they're going to play this, it's going to read it to them. And so there's a lot of different ways to expand the hours that engagement is occurring, even when your life enrichment staff is not there. So you have those types of things. Again, knowing what people are passionate about. Before you have a lot of your tours, you've gathered some information about that individual resident. Well, if you take some time to learn a little bit about iN2L and what programs we have, or you prep your life enrichment team, saying we would really like, we have somebody coming in. Here are his interests. Are there some things that you would like me to highlight or you could highlight during the tour? So for example, under travel, you'll see lots and lots of different countries. So if I had a resident who was maybe born in Italy but moved to the United States when they were very young, we can connect them to things that some of their backgrounds, and through slideshows and recipes and trivia and attractions. So we have all of those there, and the point is that person-centeredness. Who is this individual person? When they move into your community, how are you going to help engage them? How are you going to connect them to the things that they were doing in their community or in their home before moving into your community? How do we make that transition easier for the loved one and less stressful for the family. And so that's what we're designed to really help you with. And so you want to be able to speak about that person-centeredness and saying, who is your mom, who is your dad? Here are things that we can do. And the better your staff gets at using our system, and the more they work with Lori to understand our program, the better things can really become in that community. So and stories always work really well. So I want to give you a really quick story using a program that a lot of people probably never have opened up in our system. So we had a group of 3 men. This is a building up in the southern Minnesota, and they were avid outdoorsmen. And they were living in a community, not engaging, not really wanting to do it. And you guys know that adult male is a little bit harder to engage in your communities than maybe others are. And so these guys were avid outdoorsmen. They were looking for ways to engage these guys. And what they found is in our system, if you go to the sports and the outdoors, we have fishing and hunting material. But they didn't just stop there by showing them this. We also have slideshows. And so this community had a big 60-inch touchscreen, which is a lot what your communities have. They set these 3 guys up in front of the system, and they gave them Nerf guns with little darts, with little suction cups. They come in here, you go to the slideshow, and they told them anytime they saw something that they could hunt, they wanted them to shoot the Nerf gun at the screen. And you had these 3 guys who were not engaging in a lot, having this up on the screen. I just clicked on it to pause, and they would fire the gun at the screen and see if they could hit that elk right there or that buck. And they would start laughing, and they would go to the next picture. And if it was something that you wouldn't want to shoot at, they were told not to shoot at it. So we're not shooting at the other hunters. And you had these 3 guys who had done no group engagement, who were really self-isolating, having a great time. And it's a success for those that community who did this, saying these 3 guys might really enjoy having this connection here and connecting to something they would love to do in a safe way. And so those are the types of things that we can do with our program because there's so many options out there. And the more your staff works with Lori to really think outside the box and do group calls and share ideas, the more stories like that you'll have. And I highly recommend you guys try to collect those stories so that you can use those during your tours for your marketing. Other things I want to highlight in here that are really neat programs to maybe help this come alive to the families. Under health and wellness and under sensory, we have some programs that allow the family members to touch the screen. And that's really kind of a neat thing for them to be able to do during your tour. So it's kind of a wow factor. So this lagoon right here, which I'm going to click on, which is under sensory and health and wellness, all this is kind of like this body of water here. And when I run my hand, which you guys can't see, but you might be able to hear from the speaker, and you can see the waves in the water, you're able to scare away the fish. And if I hold my hand in one location, and I'm kind of to the left of that rock, you can kind of see the splashes a little bit. A little too many splashes, it looks like. The fish are going to come up to my hand. And then they're going to go ahead and I can scare them away again. And so it's that kind of programming where we can take somebody at any cognitive ability level and allow them to interact with our technology. And so taking somebody who is more sensory based and allowing them to kind of run their hand across the screen and hear the water splash and the fish react is a great program for them. And so letting the family members do that and doing something along those lines, or popping bubbles, which is literally just popping bubbles as they come up on the screen. And all of the staff that was in our trainings or will be in our trainings was trained that this is a great way for them to help with, to redirect residents that may be having, unmet needs or out of character responses. It's a great distractor for people. So, and again, any cognitive ability level can do a program like that. And so they were trained on those types of things as well. We always have like different slideshows that we can show off. It's a great way if someone tells you that their loved one, they love animals, or they love, like my dad loves old cars. You know, we have like these slideshows of old cars and airplanes or different animals they can have. There's almost 4,000 pieces of content on this system that kind of encompass all different kinds of interests. And so this health and wellness area is a great way to kind of show off some of that. It's a lot of that touch technology that's a huge benefit to our program. And so a lot of times that works really well when you're in the building. You can see the 60-inch, letting them come up and touch the screen and letting them know that their loved one will have access to our tablets 24 hours a day and to the large touch screen 24 hours a day. And it's a nice thing to say that there is things always happening in the community. There's always engagement going on, no matter what time of day it may be. We have things that they can do. Other things that are in here, just to kind of highlight for you. If you have veterans, you can always show off our veterans section, which we do have like music and videos, different videos of the different service branches, veterans trivia, all kinds of things that have to do with the veterans. And so it's a nice way for them to kind of connect to that. This allows your community to do things like veterans groups without a lot of prep time for your staff. So we're looking at that. A huge piece for a lot of communities is those spiritual. How are the spiritual needs going to be met? And I wanted to highlight this area because it can really help fill a void in a lot of communities. So if you have somebody of a different faith group than that kind of traditional Christian faith group that we see a lot of, we do have content for them. So if you had somebody that of the Jewish faith, they may ask, what can you do for my loved one? My mom or my dad is Jewish. What kind of content or what kind of services can you provide? So we have a Judaism button where you're going to see things like a live Jewish service you can connect to, music, different life events, holidays and different activities for the different holidays for them, even a calendar reminder for your staff to know when these different holidays are starting so they can help honor those. So we can see right here, it tells you right here the sunset on the evening before. So evening of September 29th, Rosh Hashanah starts. And so they're able to be prepared for that and really help the residents understand some of those things. And so so you come into the holidays, here's some holiday ideas for your staff, activities, recipes, trivia, some of the traditions, some prayers. And it's a great way. You might only have one or two Jewish residents, but we want to make sure that their needs are being met, just as we would with any other resident. And with our system and our program, you're able to do that. Same idea with that Christianity, full sermons on our system, hymns. So if someone tells you, my mom, she'd go to church every single Sunday, she sang in the choir, you might want to let them know, well, we have an entire hymn book on our system that she can listen to anytime. The words are going to show up on the screen so she can sing along if she'd like. We've had groups create choirs using our system. All of that kind of stuff because we want to make sure that they can connect to those areas of passion. So you can see words are on the screen, you can hear the music and the singing along, and that's always just a couple clicks away. So once we learn that and our staff understands that for this individual resident, if she gets upset, if she gets anxious, that hymns really calm her down, anybody can turn those hymns on for her, and they're going to be able to really engage her in that. And so we really want to be able to highlight that during the tour, that this program allows that person-centered care, and here's how we do it. Who is your mom? Who is your dad? Who is your spouse? And we will build programming for them specifically. And so I don't want to get caught in the weeds in all of our programs. I'm trying to highlight some very specific things. And I'm going to break for a second here. I know Lori's been answering some questions in the background. Is there anything that you guys have questions on that you may want to see, that you can see from this title, or you want to ask right now before I continue?
Okay.
No questions? All right, hopefully you guys are all still awake on me here. All right, so I've done it before where I've kind of just talked and there's nobody on the call with me for like 20 minutes. So I always check in on you guys.
No question.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So there's that piece of it. And now I'm not going to be able to, just with our go-to meeting, to be able to highlight, I'm not going to be able to show you our focus tablets. They don't connect through our go-to meeting. But I will talk about it, and I'm going to show a couple programs that are on both systems, and so you guys can kind of understand what that looks like. With the focus tablets, and I think from a marketing standpoint, this is a huge selling point. You have, these are Samsung tablets, Galaxy tablets, 10 inches. They're in a hard case to keep them safe. They have a kickstand, and these are for one-on-one engagement or to help with the residents, calming them down, whatever it may be. And so these, again, are designed for that individual use. So you might have someone who's self-isolating. Well, we still want to make sure they're engaged. We might have someone who doesn't feel well, they don't want to come out to a group activity today, or they're a little overwhelmed by having so many people in the same room, so we can maybe do a small group activity or a one-on-one activity with them. These are things that can be in the dining room. If we need to kind of help engage a resident before a meal, or they're trying to get up too early, or whatever it may be, the tablets can be right there. So there's a great use case for these. And so what we want to show you is just a couple programs that I can tell you that are on that Focus tablet, so you can kind of speak to it. Now the Focus tablet has a little bit different layout. It does have, the categories are listed a little bit differently. You'll notice when you see them, they're listed more as verbs. So you want to play a game, you want to listen to something, you want to worship, you want to reminisce. All of those are kind of divided up in those categories. And so you would take this with an individual person. So each person can have their own account, their own profile. Just to give you an idea, we kind of have a similar thing on this system where I can have that person's name, their picture, and it'll have their favorite programs behind there. And the Focus tablet is the same way. It looks a little bit differently. It's much easier for your staff to create. Now, what this is it is that person-centered care. It is saying that Barbara likes these activities, and anybody can pick up a tablet, sit down with Barbara, and engage in meaningful conversation or engage in meaningful engagement with her. And so that's how those are kind of divided up. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about those profiles in a minute. But some of the programming that you'll be able to see on your Focus tablet will be things like our country studies, where you can actually take them to travel to different places. You can do it as a group activity, and maybe you notice that an individual resident really responded to a certain country or to the travel. We also have these programs on our individual tablets or on our Focus tablet. So that's something that they can do. There is some lifelong learning things on your tablets. They do have some of the audio books. They do have some of our art programming on there. It's really nice. Our reminisce section, a lot of reminiscing is on that individual, on that one-on-one tablet. We have these things called pastimes videos, which are basically, these are videos or experiential videos, kind of designed for people just to follow along. They're soothing, they're fairly relaxing, filmed slowly, the music's kind of relaxing in the background, and it gets them to talk. And that's the goal. Hopefully they can talk, and depending on their cognitive ability level, that life enrichment or those care staff members will have different types of conversations. So I'm going to click on like a pie baking video. So if I know somebody loves to bake, and that's in their kind of interest profile or interest inventory when we move in, I can have this video behind their favorites. So I could sit with them and we might be able to talk, and I can just pause the screen by tapping on it. Oh, let me do that. And so we can do that, and all of a sudden we might start asking them, what do you think she's making right there? Or what do you call this that she's holding right there? What is she doing with that? What do you like to bake? What do you like to eat? All these kind of questions that can come from just watching a video of her baking an apple pie. And so we want to make sure that we have, it's a conversation starter. We know it's important to her because it was favorited by family members or by staff because we know she likes that video. And now with anytime that tablet, we have that tablet, we can click on that on her name and her favorite programs will show up and we can engage her in that. There is a lot of our health and wellness programming is on your Focus tablet. So a lot of our like nature relax videos, which are just really designed just to be calming and relaxing, you'll be able to find on there. So again, I may have somebody who really struggles in the evening time to kind of calm down, maybe go to sleep. Turning on something like this, putting it on the small tablet and putting the kickstand on their side table, and they can sit here and watch the waterfalls and pretend like we're in Hawaii, which I think we'd all like to be. And it just shows you these beautiful images and this relaxing music in the background. I'm waiting for like a dinosaur to come through, like Jurassic Park. Anyway, so those are the kind of programs that we have on there, specifically designed to engage them. We have funny videos that they can watch, YouTube videos, all of that. So you kind of get the idea of what our system's supposed to do. It comes in 2 different formats. The other thing that I want to make sure that you're aware of is when you have those profiles there, when you have those profiles set up on our Focus tablets, there is a way for family members to be able to send pictures and videos to their individual profile. So let's just kind of talk through this. I live here in Colorado. Let's say my mother was in one of your buildings in the St. Louis area. I was just out there at the Wildwoods a couple weeks ago, and my mom lives out there. You set up a profile for her on the Focus tablet. You can set me as a contact when you set that up, and your life enrichment team knows how to do all of this. And what will happen is I'm going to get a text message letting me know that my mom has a profile set up in your community, and I have the ability to text messages to her, I can text pictures, and I can text videos to her. And just by replying to that text that comes to my phone, I can then connect with her. And so what would happen is any time that I want to send a picture to my mom, I text it to that number, and it'll show up behind her profile. And when you have the tablet in front of you, when you see everyone's profile, you can actually see a little number, like a notification, like you get on your apps on your phone. It'll say like number 1, 2, or 3. It'll tell them there are new pictures, new videos, new messages waiting for them. So you can say, oh, it looks like someone sent you something. Let's see what it was. You open up my mom's profile, and there may be a picture that I sent her, or it may be a quick video that I sent her, or it might just be a message saying, hey, Mom, I love you. I hope you're having a great day. And so our goal with that is to create that connection with family. And we want to make sure that you do highlight that with this technology, with this program, your family members can use their cell phone to send pictures, videos, and messages to their loved ones. And that the staff will make sure that they get to see those. It could be pictures of grandkids, pictures of important things in their life. Videos can be just a quick saying hi, but it can be more than that. So as we start to look at and say, what are some of the consistent behaviors that we're seeing from my mom? Maybe you can communicate with me, and our Life Enrichment team can communicate with me and say, hey, just want to let you know, sometimes your mom she gets lost and confused. She doesn't think you know where she is. She gets a little panicked that she doesn't know where she is. Can you just record a quick message from your phone and text it to us, and we'll be able to show it to her. And it can just be a quick message. It'll be saying, hey, Mom, it's Scott. Just want to let you know I know you're at the Wildwoods. The staff's going to take great care of you. You're safe. I want you to have a great day. I know where you are, and everything is fine at home, but I want you to have a great rest of your day. And if you show her that every time she starts going, does anyone know I'm here? Where are we? Whatever it may be, I need to be home. You can show her that message that I recorded for you. That'll stay on that tablet until I delete it. So as long as you guys, or until you delete it, as long as you keep it there, you can show her that video every single day. And so that's that connection piece. As family members feel that guilt and they feel that overwhelmed about moving mom or dad or loved one into a community, we want to help bridge that communication gap by using technology. Videos of you know, it's okay, you need to take your medicine, or it's okay for them to help you in the shower, whatever it may be. We want to create that connection. So through text messaging, we can send pictures, videos, and messages to the residents' profiles. And so that's another really key area for you and your team to be able to speak about. Okay? Just want to make sure you guys have that. Any questions, again, on focus tablets, on how they're going to be used in your community, on that ability for family members to engage?
Good.
All right, so there's that piece to it. Now I want to really quickly talk through a couple things with you. Then I'm going to show you some resources that we have for you. I'll show it to you, and I'll actually we'll send the link out to you guys, so you don't have to like kind of log in and everything along the way. But the first thing before, I want to talk through, what does this actually look like when you're going to have a tour coming through? Okay, so a couple different things that can happen. The teacher in me kind of grades these out a little bit. You know, on your big system, you can create, and I don't think we have one on our demo system right here, but you could create a button that says marketing, or that says tour, or that whatever you want it to say. You can create that button, and it has programs that you want to highlight while you're walking past the iN2L system. So play with it a little bit and say, I want 3 or 4 kind of wow programs. Maybe it's that lagoon, maybe it's the bubble popper, maybe it's our fish tank, maybe it's the travel, whatever it is. And your life enrichment team can help you with this. And you want a button there that says marketing or tour or whatever it may be. And so whenever you walk by that system, you're able to really quickly click on that, and it will allow you to show those programs. So you're not trying to find them in here. So that would be one thing that I would highly recommend, is work with your life enrichment team to have a scenario button called marketing or tour set up for you. Make it easy. Have something that the resident or the staff can touch, or the family members can touch when they walk by. On the focus tablets, there is no limit to the number of profiles that you can create. So we have a couple options here. One, you could have your life enrichment team create you a profile on the focus tablets, and it can be your personal profile. It can have your name, your picture on it, and you could put programs behind there that you think are interesting, that kind of speak to who you are. So you can look at and set that up. So if I had my own profile, I'd probably have some of the sports things underneath there. I would have some of the travel. I would have some maybe of the TED Talks or lifelong learning things, and maybe a couple of games. And if I was in front of a family to talk about focus, I'd say, and the whole point of this is that one-on-one and personalized engagement of things that we're passionate about. So, and I'd say, you know, here's some of my areas of passion. So if I were a resident here in the community, I would click on the tablet and show them. These are the things that the staff here would be able to work with me on, because they would know that this is what I love. Right? What are some things that your dad loves or your mom loves? And let me show you what we have on here. So it's kind of making it come alive. So that'd be a great thing to do. But even better, if you have a tour scheduled a week ahead of time, a couple of days ahead of time, and you can gather some information about that resident, a wow factor is, let's have a profile made for that individual that prospective resident, already made for them. So, you know, my mom's coming in, her name is Pam. You have a profile before I even walk in the door set up for Pam, and you know a couple things about my mom. She's actively engaged in the church, so she would love the Our Daily Bread stuff and the hymns. She likes to cook, so you would have some of the baking videos that we have on here. And she's a big traveler. She's from Ohio, and she used to live in Spain. You could build out a very quick profile for her and put some of those things. And when I come in with my mom and we're talking, you talk about the iN2L program as something you offer for person-centered care. So here, you know, we knew a little bit about your mom, so we set up a profile already for her. And here is what we kind of pulled out. And we could always make this kind of modify this as we learn more about Pam, but here's a great starting point. So from day one, we're going to connect her to all these things she's passionate about. And also, you see this pictures and video section. We would love for you to text us in pictures and videos of the grandkids and all of that, and she'll have that at her fingertips. And this will be available 24 hours a day to her. So it's really making that come alive. And so as a family member, I get to touch the tablet. I see my mom's profile there. I see programs that you've already selected for her, and it really makes a big difference. So that's the way you can actually do this. So number one is get your life and register team to make a marketing button for you here, and then also either the easiest way is to make your own personal profile, have them make one for you, and then you can add your own favorites. Or if you're going to have a tour coming in, it'd be great to have that made ahead of time and put the person who's going to be in there. All right. The last thing that I want to show you really quickly, and we're going to send you the link to this, so you don't need to like know how to get here. We actually have it on the website. You don't have to do it from your iN2L system. You're going to be able to get a link that will email you. It's our marketing kit, and so from your own computer, you're going to be able to come in here and find things like our logos that you can download or print up or use on your website. You have our focus system and you have our engage system, and those are our logos for that. You can see right here how you can download those. We also have different photography that we give you the rights to if you wanted to put together any kind of documentation to hand out. We have those right here. We also have like an intro letter to families that you've added this. We have a media release if you want to release that to the local media. You can modify any of these. So this is an example, but you can modify this to work for you. Here's a flyer if you want to put that into your into the packet you give out to families. Different advertisements that you can put up here around your building. External things, you can put this on your website saying that your community is an iN2L user community. We have different videos if you want to show a video of just if you want to show a video of just giving them a high-level overview of what iN2L is. So here's a what is iN2L video that they can watch as well. Again, welcome flyers, posters, table tents. All of this is right here. This is what we call our marketing kit, and it's a really cool area for you guys to have access to. So Lori's going to send out an email and that can go to Kayla, that can then be distributed to everybody so they have that information. But really neat area right there. So I want to pause there to see if there's anything else that I can cover, or Kayla, if you have anything that you want to say, and then also answer any questions that you guys may have that you didn't ask earlier. So let's start with you, Kayla. Is there anything that you've been in a couple of trainings that you want me to highlight or that you want to ask the group that we can kind of talk about?
I think you covered a ton of stuff, which is great, just super, super high level. If we only had, a couple minutes to share information on the system, we could say that we have 2 opportunities to engage 2 different types of group. We have the engage system, which is intended for engaging a group, and then we have our tablets, which is our focus system, which is intended on engaging on a one-on-one level. We also have the ability with those focus tablets to tie in participation from the family members, that they have the ability to send pictures, messages, videos, so that we can continuously build that relationship with the resident and better serve them with events and activities and engagement. So if they only had just a minute or 2 more to be able to share anything with families on what it is. Maybe somebody was in a hurry and we just glanced at the system very quickly on a tour. Is there just 1 or 2 sentences that they should know for sure about it outside of that?
Yeah, no, I mean, you kind of spoke to it. To me, honestly, what I was saying to Lori is I would really would love to follow up, or Kayla, for you to follow up with your communities to see if your life enrichment team will make that scenario button for marketing, because it does just, it gives you that just 2-minute talking thing. Because you say this is adaptive technology designed for seniors to help them engage in things that they're passionate about and to enhance our group activities. And say, here's a couple of examples of programming that they like to use. Again, if you guys are marking on your calendar in your community when iN2L is being used, if you show an activity calendar, they can maybe even see when iN2L is being used and what programs are being used on a daily basis in the building. But you know, we want to make sure we're authentic with it. So a great thing to do is that marketing button that they make for you should have programs behind it that they're using on a fairly regular basis, so that you're highlighting things that are happening in your community. So if your community does a lot of our travel programming, it would be great to put a couple things behind that. If they never do travel and they've never opened up travel, it's probably not something I would highlight during a tour, because then we're not really being authentic about how we use it. So each building should look a little bit different, but I would really, you know, that would be my point to leave with is, for marketing to use this successfully, we have to, you guys don't have time to learn all of this stuff. The fact that we got you for 45 minutes is a big ask. So we want to make sure that your team is setting that up to where you don't have to learn our whole system. You click on my page, you click on marketing, and then you can speak to this for 2 or 3 minutes. And then the tablet, same thing. Set up your own profile, set up a fake dummy account of just a fake person, and you can tell that story about that person's life that doesn't really exist through the programs that they've selected under the Focus tablet. To me, those are the next steps to make this successful from a marketing standpoint.
Perfect. Did anybody else have any questions for Scott before we jumped off the line? It's a great resource. If you had him right here in front of you, just want to make sure that we take good advantage of his time.
This is Emily. I have a question, please.
Yeah.
All right.
So is there a way to track kind of if a particular resident has done this, or if the staff has interacted with the resident and picked, you know, screens A, B, and C with them, or they spent 45 minutes on their profile today?
Yeah, so with that Focus tablet, which is where we're tracking that individual use, we can actually, and there's a dashboard that Kayla has access to everybody's, and each building has access to their own. We'll tell you how much usage that person has, what type of programs they've used, whether it's like trivia or videos or slideshows. It'll also show trends. So it'll show you if that individual person is using it less this week than they were the week before. So we can definitely pull usage on individual residents. And it's a great barometer of, oh, this person was using this, they're engaging a lot. Now they're not coming to group activities. We even see their individual engagement has decreased 20% a week for the last couple of days, or the last couple of weeks. Maybe we need to kind of really proactively look at that.
Good. Now, can the families access that also, or is that just the staff here?
So at this time, it's just the staff. Long term, we are looking at having more of a family portal or even an app that they'll have on their phone where they can actually see that information. And that's not ready yet, but that's a 2020 goal for us, which you guys would actually have access to once we upgraded that.
Okay. That answers my question. Thank you very much.
Oh, great question. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything they want to share or ask Scott? Okay.
All right. So we did record that, so we'll do a couple things, Kayla. Lori's going to send you the link to that marketing piece so that you can send that out. And then we'll also send you a link to the actual recording of this so that anybody who was not here today can actually listen in on that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate your time, and thank you guys for jumping on and hanging out with us today, and I will get all of that information to you this afternoon.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.